If you ask most Avatar fans what defines Zuko, they would probably answer in one of two ways: his anger or his obsession with restoring his honor. But both of these traits are consequences of something deeper inside Zuko. This is fundamental to what drives him to hunt the Avatar, to seek his father's validation, to restore his honor, and even to betray his uncle Iroh, who loved him the most. This fundamental trait of Zuko's is his shame. The shame he felt of losing his mom, defying his father, being scarred and banished, for never succeeding and for never knowing the difference between right and wrong. After Zuko is banished, all he ever knows is shame. He believes it's his pride as a Fire Nation prince that drives him to regain his honor through capturing the Avatar, when it's actually his shame. The feelings that drive Zuko to chase the Avatar relentlessly are feelings that all men feel at some point in their lives. The desperate need to become and achieve something greater than what we are. But whether these desires are fueled by humility or shame is what will define us and our ability to achieve success at our goals, and whether we even chose the right goals to begin with. As the banished prince of the Fire Nation, Zuko feels shamed everywhere he goes, whether it's from the nation and the people his country has conquered, or even from his own countrymen and family. Zuko feels the weight of the title of the banished prince and the scar which marks him. Yet, in the face of all that criticism, Zuko stands tall. He never bows down and lets their insult taint his pride. In fact, it just adds further fuel to his fire and his mission to capture the Avatar to restore his honor. He tries to act in a way that will make his father proud and does everything he can to be forgiven by his father, further proving that he can't act on his own. No amount of wisdom from Uncle Iroh and sips of tea will help Zuko recognize that what is fueling him isn't a goal he truly wants or his destiny, but something his father gave to punish him. He leaves no room for reflection into who he really is as a person, and that's because his situation as the banished prince is so deeply rooted in shame that if he were to have stopped and questioned himself for even a second, it would make him question his entire identity. He's so narrow-minded on capturing the Avatar because he believes this is the only way to finally restore his honor and make his father proud. Even during his time in Ba Sing Se, when he lives a more normal life and begins to let go of his goal of capturing the Avatar, when confronted with the opportunity to return home and be released of his shameful role as the banished prince, he takes this opportunity to not only betray Katara and Uncle Iroh, who believed in him, but himself.
I admit it. I have everything I always wanted, but it's not at all how I thought it would be. The truth is, I need your advice. I think the Avatar is still alive. I know he's out there. I'm losing my mind. Please, Uncle, I'm so confused. I need your help. Forget it. I'll solve this myself. Waste away in here for all I care.
After betraying Uncle Iroh, he finally got everything he wanted: his rightful place as prince, his father's attention, his family, his country, his honor. To everyone, he is a hero, but to himself, he's a failure. Shame made him chase empty goals. What he thought for so long would restore his honor made him feel absolutely nothing. Even though Zuko tried his best in achieving this goal, and eventually did, all the effort and success is meaningless because it wasn't a goal he truly wanted or even valued. How many times have you found yourself chasing after a goal for no reason other than because someone else told you to? Whether it's valuing a certain grade in school, brands of clothes, job titles, social media likes and followers, Are all of these things really meaningful and valuable to you because you want them, or simply because you think it will give you status to feel good about yourself because someone else told you to? How many empty goals do we chase in life to avoid feelings of shame and asking ourselves who we really are and what we really want in society if other people didn't impact us?
I know my own destiny, Uncle.
Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else has tried to force on you?
Stop it, Uncle. I have to do this.
I'm begging you, Prince Zuko. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
These are the questions that Zuko was avoiding the entire time he was chasing the Avatar, and it was only when he took time to reflect on the cruelty of his situation and everything afterwards that he realized his honor was never something his father could give him, but something he had to give and restore himself.
Why can't I do it? Instead of lightning, it keeps exploding in my face. Like everything always does.
I was afraid this might happen. You will not be able to master lightning until you have dealt with the turmoil inside you.
What turmoil?
Zuko, you must let go of your feelings of shame if you want your anger to go away.
But I don't feel any shame at all. I'm as proud as ever.
Prince Zuko, pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame.
Well, my life has been nothing but humbling lately.
The Stoics say that humility isn't thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Zuko was unable to do this when Uncle Iroh first told him about humility because all he ever thought about up until that point was himself and restoring his honor. But when he captured the Avatar and still felt empty, he begins to question his impact on the world, what he has done for others, and what his legacy will be. How many times have you chased after a goal you thought you wanted for so long only to actually accomplish it and feel nothing? It's like climbing up an entire mountain, not because you wanted to, but because someone else told you to do it, and when you get to the mountaintop, you realize you never wanted to be there in the first place. Without even knowing it, Zuko begins to act from a place of true humility when he takes actions for himself, when he joins Team Avatar to defeat his father, and when he begs Uncle Iroh for forgiveness. He's no longer concerned about his honor and pride. He couldn't care less about those things because he realizes he must restore balance to the world and make up for his family's sins. By the end of the show, Zuko takes his place as the Fire Lord, not from a place of desire for power like his sister or father did, but from being a humble servant wanting to bring peace and kindness to the world. He ends the show happily serving tea to all his friends despite being the honorable Fire Lord, showing his transformation from an angry, selfish teenager to a mature and kind man. Just like Zuko, I was fueled by shame for nearly all of my goals and values as a kid. Everything that I did came from a place of me not wanting to feel like I was less than good enough. I wanted someone to tell me that they were proud of me, that I did a good job today, and I did everything I could to avoid the deep feelings of shame that I felt about myself and lived entirely according to someone else's desires for me. This way of life is pretty common for men because I think that a lot of us do seek external validation, whether we like it or not, depending on who we're around. It honestly feels good to be validated by the people that we respect, whether it's our friends, our family, our coworkers. The people around us will help us understand who we are. And that's why Zuko was so fueled by shame and this goal of capturing the Avatar for his entire life, because he looked up to his father, as any regular boy should be. He didn't take the time to understand that what his father did to him was just plain out cruel, because to think that way would change his entire way of life and his entire perspective on who he was and why he was doing what he was doing. Uncle Iroh was asking Zuko, begging Zuko, to answer the deeper questions of who he is and what he truly wants. It's questions that we should ask ourselves honestly every day, because we change and we grow, and what we value won't be the same as what we valued just yesterday, let alone a year ago. But I know that we don't take the time for that because it can be difficult. It can be difficult to realize that you were walking on a path that was never right for you. It was not even the path that you even wanted to walk. You just took that path because someone else told you that it was valuable. And when you go this way your entire life, to finally question yourself and to look back and reflect at the life you've lived so far can be difficult. And it was the same for me. To realize that I was acting from a place of shame and insecurity my whole life made me realize that I've done nothing for myself. I did everything entirely to make someone else happy so that I could be validated and so that I could just feel that I had some sort of value in their eyes. But no matter how much I chased their validation, whether it was a girl's validation, my family, my friends, I always felt empty inside because I knew I wasn't doing what I was meant to do or what I even valued. And this is what Zuko has taught me so well, because his transformation in the last season is honestly one of my favorite redemptive arcs of all time, because of how obsessed and evil he was in the first 2 seasons and how he was trying to capture the Avatar to eventually helping the Avatar defeat his father. It took deep introspection on Zuko's part to realize that everything he had done up until the last season was just terrible and not something that he truly valued. And it was only when he took that time to reflect that he realized who he truly was, what he was meant to do, what he valued, and how he could contribute back to the world. And as I'm growing older every day, and I'm a man now, and eventually I want to be a man that won't lead the Fire Nation, but will hopefully lead my family one day, I want to ask myself all the time, what can I do to bring more kindness into the world? What can I do for my brother? What can I do for my parents? What can I do for my friends? And when I ask myself those questions, it gives me the clarity to understand and know what I truly value. Outside of society, outside of status, outside of anyone else's opinion, it's clear to me what I value and what I can do for others. And the whole point of humility that Uncle Iroh was trying to teach Zuko is really in the questions. It's in the questions of asking what you can do, who you really are, and what you really want. Because the answers to those questions are always going to change, and you need to be able to ask yourself that nearly every day to make sure that you stick on the right path and you don't stray off and accidentally find yourself like Season 1 Zuko, suddenly crashing out and chasing after someone else's goal that they gave to you rather than something that you truly value.
If I have to, I will spend every day of the rest of my life hunting the Avatar. I know it's my destiny to capture him.
You know, Prince Zuko, destiny is a funny thing. You never know how things are going to work out, but if you keep an open mind and an open heart, I promise you will find your own destiny someday.
I was 8 years old when I first saw Avatar, and the more that I saw it, the more that I've come to understand the characters and the lessons they all teach. As a kid, I thought Zuko was just a cool villain turned hero, but at 25, I see how tormented he really was by shame and just how wise Uncle Iroh's lessons truly were. Some people live their whole lives like Zuko before he changed, always chasing an empty goal given to them by someone else which they think will fulfill them. Some people aren't lucky like Zuko and actually obtain that empty goal only to see that it wasn't going to fulfill them. They can spend their whole lives thinking that if only they got the car, the house, the job, the money, the girl, the status, the power, then they would feel fulfilled. But what about you? What goals are you chasing right now? Are those goals something that you truly value, or do you only value it because someone else told you that it would give you status or power? If no one else was watching you or cared about what you were doing, would you still be chasing that goal? It takes true courage and humility to realize when we are chasing empty goals and how to find goals that are in line with our values. Just like Uncle Iroh said,
You must never give in to despair. Allow yourself to slip down that road and you surrender to your lowest instincts. In the darkest times, hope is something you give yourself. That is the meaning of inner strength.
inner strength is when we give ourselves hope, when we give ourselves and our lives value when no one else can see it. Zuko spent most of the show so focused on what other people thought about him that it was only when he valued what he thought about himself that he was able to see clearly what he valued and how he needed to start living according to himself and not to his father. Life can often be so busy and fast that we don't take the time to question ourselves and what we are doing. But if we're able to see which emotions are controlling us and our goals, we can avoid a life chasing empty goals. We can let go of our feelings of shame, of insecurity, and instead act from a place of kindness and true humility, just like Uncle Iroh would want us to.